another design issue in this ensemble learning. Ensemble learning, first we have to apply the voting classifiers as I have discussed just now. So here these voting classifiers are of two types. One is soft voting and another one is hard voting. These are the voting classifiers. These are also the algorithms. Hard voting, here you can give the majority. We can give the importance to the majority of the predictions which is measured, that will be selected as the final outcome. And soft voting, here you have to apply some technique. So that is some soft skill you have to apply. So in the last example we have considered the average of yes, all yes and average of all no. So this is what the voting classifiers, this is one of the designing issues in the ensemble learning mechanism. And what is the another designing issue? So the other side of the coin is nothing but bagging and pasting. So this bagging and pasting is nothing but here you can give the training samples to the classifiers. So in what pattern will you provide the training samples to the classifiers? So is there any technique, or which one gives the majority, which one gives the accuracy, which one improves your classification technique better? So further you have to apply certain techniques, that is bagging and pasting. So here different methods have been there. So the bagging is nothing but with replacement. Pasting is nothing but without replacement. Without replacement. So here what are these techniques means? Observe this figure. Here this figure is, this is the total overall your training data set. This is the training data set. In this training data set, observe the figure and all these four are nothing but the parts of this entire training data set. If you observe these darkened circles here, the darkened circles. So here you have selected only one. So this one only sample, darkened sample has been given as a sample, random training set to the classifier 1. This is the classifier 1, this is the classifier 2, classifier 3, and this itself represents the any other classification techniques. So for this, in this entire data sets, we have to provide the random samples of these entire data sets as a training set for these classifier. So this is one another designing issues of the ensemble learning mechanism. So for this you can go ahead with the bagging technique or pasting technique. So bagging means that is with replacement and pasting is nothing but that is without replacement. So in bagging, what will you do? In bagging is nothing but here this point and all these white circles have been given as an input to the, this is the random sample 1 and this is the random sample 2, and for this random sample you have selected this point and this point, and these 2 points are also you have given as a input. Okay, and what about these circles? Here only the few. So few circles have been given as a input. Means what? Here some of the samples, randomly you will pick some of the samples in the entire training data set and you will give to the, you will distribute those samples randomly to the diversified classifiers. Okay, so one classifier can take the one set of training data set and another classifier can take the another part of the entire training data set. Another part will be randomly selected and will be given as a training data set to all these classifiers. So this type of way to provide the training data sets to these classifiers is nothing but bagging. And here this is also, you can call it as the bootstrap aggregation. So finally here it aggregates all these samples. It will aggregate all these samples and that will be the final data set, your final training data set. So here it's a bootstrap aggregation. Okay, so this is nothing but this is with replacement. If it is with replacement, you can also call it as a bootstrap aggregation, and another name is bagging. Bagging also known as the bootstrap aggregation. And pasting is nothing but that is without replacement. You can't replace that. So here this replacement of this random sample 1, you can't give the, if this classification technique won't allow the replacement, then that is, you can call it as a pasting. But any one of these techniques concentrates on the training data set. Random samples of the training data set. So here in this ensemble learning we are having the two designing issues. One is concentrating on the random samples of the training data set. So in what way you have to pick, you have to select the data sets for the classification techniques. And another one is concentrates on the in what way you can select the final answer. So that is final prediction, that is voting classifiers. So these two are the additional points to the ensemble learning. Before learning the random sample, random forest algorithm, you have to consider this as the designing issues in the ensemble learning technique.